In this episode of Changemakers by ABBS, we meet Dr. Ravi Aditya, Associate Professor at ABBS, whose academic journey spans finance, marketing, HR, and AI. With global exposure from Virginia Tech and deep roots in business education, he brings fresh perspectives to data analytics. As a researcher, author, and educator, Dr. Aditya is helping redefining management education in India. Hi, I welcome you to Changemakers by ABBS podcast. Thank you so much for joining us in today.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fine, absolutely. Pleasure to be in this podcast.
Looking forward for the conversation. So before we get into the actual conversation, would you mind letting us know a bit about yourself, your journey so far, and also the work that you do?
Definitely. Well, as the name says, it's Ravi Aditya, into academics for the last 18, 19 years. Started my journey as a faculty teaching finance and derivatives and everything. Then shifted to Bangalore, wanted to learn what's this keeping ticking about Bangalore and the B schools part. My journey started in Bangalore from Acharya Bangalore B School, currently where I'm working from 2016. And over the time, always into data and analyzing either what was in Excel and everything. Then somewhere in 19 or 18, I heard about Python coming in. So that moved on. So yeah, here I am doing my part in the big world, what I can do.
What made you to choose such a wide range of subjects for your studies? Marketing, HR, and even AI also.
Right. I have a background with accountancy and chartered accountancy. I did that. So then somehow I did not like sitting behind the desk and trying to crunch the numbers and view the balance sheets. It was too monotonous or something like that. Then decided something that makes me happy and feel good. And when I went and stood in front of 60 odd students in a classroom and interacting and trying to get them, that made me realize, yes, this is what is making me tick, move on. And the interaction, the way they look forward to, some don't look forward to also, some just sit there, some are eager learning. And that is where things started. And finance is more dynamic in terms of decision making and everything. Perspective comes in. But if you say they are too diverse, I wouldn't say the word too diverse. If you can find an eye to connect them, yes, you can always. Like marketing, also, it's not the hardcore marketing that I am into it, but more the finance part of that marketing that a marketing person goes through. Like even HR, if you want HR people, the cost aspect, the financial decision in terms of the bench strength and how much is the acquisition cost of employees and other things, that part. So as I used these things in terms of my study or delivering it, I found out that I as an individual or many of them are only relying on an ERP software, or a typical person like me would only rely on an Excel, and we keep doing it. And you can't just stop at learning. That's one thing that we call it as the first important thing that we require is inquisition. We need to move on. So then came this world of Python, R, SPSS, and all that thing. The numbers gave you something to sit and work upon and get new insights into it. And that's where the connecting of the dots, which people feel it is varied and other things. But no, it's too connected. If you have the zeal and feel in it to connect it. So yeah, that's the journey, and then that's how you connect it.
Yes, yes. So, how did your time at Virginia Tech actually shape how you teach business analytics and AI in India?
The time with Virginia Tech was I already had my knowledge in terms of business analytics and AI, but what it gave me in Virginia Tech's course was the perspective how industries are looking. And till now, till that moment of time, I was only interacting and trying to prepare or learn to deliver to what my students' needs and wants are, at the most what they can deliver in the corporates. But I never had a feedback or an input from the industry sector. And the course by Virginia Tech was like many industry personnels were available, and what do you call that? They gave me a perspective like how industries literally use this AI and things in real time. and that was what missing. And I got to interact with industry people who were learning these courses,
Yeah.
and so during our interactions over projects like group assignments, capstone projects, and everything, got to know that yes, how much they are too much into practical aspects, and like we as academicians are too much into theoretical aspects. So that way, it kind of has shaped it understanding like, yeah, we there is more that there's a gap that is required to bridge between academics in terms of theory and application oriented. So that is where I think the course helped me in coming out with that.
Right, right. And also, it kind of helps to translate it to the students as well, because you're somehow preparing them for the industry, for the future industry. I mean, that's why, like, whatever you have learned through industry, you're translating it to your students as well.
Exactly, simplifying it, because as an academician, I would like to always say, like, not even an academician, any individual first needs to learn the basics of it. Uh, if your fundamentals are strong,
Mhm.
then application becomes easier. So that part is what I concentrated the most in terms of at least ensuring my students get their basics and fundamentals right. And there are many who want the next level, that next bit push that is required beyond the basics part. That is where the industry connect comes into picture, the feedback. So it's not that I directly give them completely what industry expects and so that they do. So we need to leave something for the industry people to train our students onboarding part. It's just that I simplify them and then tell them that this is what you will be expected. So this is what it's a taste of it, what, but you need to be prepared to learn more and go beyond what you have learned in your classrooms.
Right,
So that connect is what is required.
right. Next question is my favorite question, and you will be the right person to ask this because I would really like to know where India is standing in terms of data analytics landscape.
Fantastic. In terms of standing, I think each country is doing their own part. So I
Mhm.
won't put anyone in any pedestal of a ranking of an hierarchy or an order. Let us keep that thing. Each individual country is concentrating on each things. Like China is going into its different AI things and with different agents that is building. When you talk about India, let us stick to our country where we are still here and we love it so much. Is that I would say there are, I think there's a study by IMARC group of last year wherein it valued our data analytics market around $2 odd billion, and they have projected it like and projected around 2033 or 35 something around 20 odd billion dollars is what the market value of the data analytics is going to grow in India. But what do you attribute? Let us take this question in two stages, in the sense what has attributed to the growth of data analytics in India and where it is going forward to.
Mhm.
If you talk about that, we basically, if you analyzed it, like since you have done a lot of podcasts and everything and interacted with many great minds, I think we can narrow it down into three homogeneous sectors and say that mostly that the digital transformation has happened in India and the AI application. And a major credit also goes to the government in terms of its initiatives like Digital India, AI mission that they have started with it. So, yeah, with respect to India and its position in terms of where it is moving towards the data analytics part, like I said, I'll answer it in, I'll attribute it in two aspects. One is the efforts and what has made it to be a digital thing and where it is heading towards it. The most important aspect, like the journey of India's data analytics, if you want to talk about, is basically the AI application that we are using into the digital transformation, but more importantly, how the government is seeing or viewing it in terms of its missions that it is conducting or launching it. We talk about Digital India AI mission, which has transformed. The study, as I was mentioning you, by IMARC was talking about $2 billion of market value of data analytics in 2024 or 23, and it's expected to grow to $20 billion. So that's a huge thing. Now, what makes it or what makes India move forward or to reach that stage is we have millions of users of data because of smartphones and internet users. I think one of the largest users we are. And the application oriented, the sectors that we have in terms of BFSI, the financing sector, the healthcare, the retail commerce, the quantum of people that are using it, and these industries which are taking benefit of it, definitely I see it reaching a stage wherein it might be even one of the powerhouses of data analytics, if not the only one that we can attribute, because we can't deny the other countries and their efforts in which they are going on,
Right.
right?
Even the smallest of smallest companies, uh, let's forget about the companies also. Even a creator in today's era would be needing data analytics. They will be looking at their analytics report and everything and then doing the content accordingly. So everybody needs data nowadays.
Exactly, exactly. See, the point is, this is not something new. I don't want it to be termed that data analytics is a new phenomenon and is going to take something forward. Data has always been there, and people have always been analyzing it. If you go to the roots of it, why are we doing what we are doing is what I ask my students every time. So I say that you want answers. You want answers means you need to ask the right questions. And for you to ask the right questions, you need information, which has to be processed to the data. Earlier, people also have used the data, even right from 1960s, 30s, when stock market was there. Markowitz has developed the models and everything, but they did it literally manually. Now, time is of the essence. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is using the data either in their head when the data is too limited, they are processing it and then predicting. Even my local tiffin center fellow also does. How much should I produce tomorrow? That with based of the data. But as we grow in terms of the scale of an organization and everything, the quantum of data that we have is so much a mere human being will not be able to process.
Right.
So that is where the tools come into picture. So I think we need to separate the phobia into certain people, especially the non-science students and everything. They have this fear that means data analytics, everything is all about mathematics and coding and only about statistics. No, there's a certain rationality involved in it. The right attitude towards it is what will make you take those decisions.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
That's a great message too, because we really have a lot of tools available nowadays. So it won't be a difficult for a non-tech student to pursue data analytics.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
So you have written two books, and one is on cashew industry. So I really want
Right.
to know, like, what was your inspiration to write a book in such an industry, which is, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Sorry. I come from a place in north coastal Andhra Pradesh.
Mhm.
Stay in Vishakhapatnam. My house is there. My parents are there. But our real village comes from Srikakulam, Palasa district, which is like one of the hubs of cashew nut, not one of the very primal states in India. Initially, that started with. So there's a acres and acres of land about cashew plantation and everything. And our homes were always filled with this cashew fruit. And many people are averse to the smell because if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you're not into it. So, seen a lot. There were so many cashew processing plants also there. And the end to end logistics, if you see, in terms of growing the plants to the fruit, extracting the nut, and then processing the nut, and then going about. We saw even cashew shell nut liquid, CSNL, we call it as that, also coming out of the byproducts and everything. That made me feel, and one of my friend was there, who was doing his PhD thesis also during that time on that thing. So together we both decided, why not write a book which will help us in terms of taking our district to the map and something like that. It was more towards the love towards our district. At the end of the day, we still call it as our home country or mother district, mother tongue that way. The same thing has also been presented by my friend in Dubai in the Cashew Export in 2018, 19 something. Got well received with that thing. But then now away from home, the heart still beats there. So the cashew is still there in us.
Right, right. So, do you want to give a little bit of glimpse about your book, like what all I mean, what are the contents
Yeah,
of the book and how does it help?
the book basically talks in segments in terms of the current state, like what the cashew growers are there. Then it also gives a glimpse about the plants that process these nuts. There are medium and high scale plants of that thing, and what is their state. the second part of the book talks about the difficulties that the cashew growers are facing in terms of the raw output and getting that thing. And also, it talks about the problems of these plants, cashew plants, how they are finding it difficult to the raw materials because they have increased the scale so much, but the raw material is not coming to them. And how they are facing competitions from this Nigeria, Tanzania, where the African countries have started entering into the cashew market in India, which has even taken hit for even the Goa and the Kerala states, which are also amongst the cashew producing thing. The last part of the book talks about basically what we as India can do to protect the part wherein we do not source raw materials from the African countries and then process it here and then sell it to our consumers because importing cost and everything goes up for us. So that is how the book talks about. It's a long time back. I think I need to revisit about the book again and see what its current status is all about.
Right. So can I call it as a guide for people, those who would like to get into this industry?
10 years or 8 years it is now. But yeah, nevertheless, it can give a glimpse about the throes of it because at the end of the day, opportunities keep changing with respect to government policies and the innovation technology and other aspects of it. But definitely, the problems always persist.
Yeah.
Our ignorance to not learn will make us repeat the same mistakes what we do. So that way, yeah, they might know what pitfalls to avoid. One of the best ways to learn is to not make mistakes
Yeah. That's
if you want to be playing it safe, if you're a risk averse, that is what I would like to say about it.
yeah. So you teach complex subjects. You have already given a message on data analytics, but you teach complex subjects like Python and computer vision. So how do you simplify that for the students and especially management students?
First of all, it is not complex. No. Complexity comes from the start of our head, like where we position ourselves. Like most of the kids in India have a phobia, or everyone has about it, about mathematics.
Yeah.
Many of my students struggle. The very word finance is means it's like problems, and no, sir, it is not into our head. And I keep the things or to make them feel comfortable. I say, if I can teach, I mean, you people are all intelligent than me, so you can learn it much better and quickly than me. So that's the starting point that I go about it on a lighter note in the sense. Now, coming back to, we need to break down what we are teaching, and what I teach to my students might not work to another faculty to their students because my diaspora of the students are from different learning backgrounds.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I need to do is that literally assess them like where they are. Because as a faculty, I cannot sit in my chair and say, give me only these level of students. Sorry. If that was the case, I would have never been a faculty. So how do you break down a complex subject? You have taken a bit of understanding in terms of interacting with your students. Make them start with playing some fun games on Python, let's say. Make them say that how idiot a Python is literally. I hope nobody minds me saying it as an idiot. Please forgive me if I say that. But yeah, you need to make them get accustomed to it, the environment and everything. Break it down to such levels wherein they are no longer feeling bad about it or scared about it. That they can go back to home for fun's sake, even for 5 minutes, let us just type Python and open the IDE and see what it is. That, if you have achieved in the first initial week or something, trust me, instead of spending 5 minutes or something, you will be ending up seeing the student spending 1 hour, 2 hours cracking it, coding it. And that is what we need to do. Somehow we need to get them get acclimatized to the environment and the concept. And the only thing is that as a faculty, we need to make a subject very simple. And that can be only done if we know it properly. So we need to break it down like a baby has to eat. We break it down, smash it, part, and then say that boss, this is what it is. So go ahead, enjoy the learning. If you're not having fun in learning, then we are in the wrong course, is what we say.
Right.
And as a faculty, we need to dare and give that fun to the students. They should not drag themselves to the colleges or drag themselves to the lab and then sit and work upon that. So that's the message that I'm trying to do. So I'm still doing every batch. I have revised my pedagogy. So that tells you that every batch is different than what the previous batch was. It's
Yeah.
not that one PPT I have and then go. Because this batch is good. the last batch is bad. No, we should not say that. Each have their own learning levels. Each have their own exposures. If you go a bit further in the future, there will be more students who know even the codes which they are going to write, because from schools they are starting. So that way we need to be more dynamic as a faculty than a student needs to be, and that's a challenge for us.
Right. That's absolutely true. Like, since the generation is evolving, so that's why we can expect that every batch is different. We cannot say like bad or good, but they are evolving. So that's why like every teacher also should evolve accordingly.
More at a rapid pace than what the other professions require, actually.
Mhm.
I can see today, if I walk in, a student might say hi sir,
Yeah.
which many were not. They will, we are only used to saying good morning, and it's not what they were saying, it's how what is feeling inside is what matters to us. So that is what it is. And generations, yes, we call, there are people who are born now in 2000 are coming up into MBAs now, I think 25, 23. They have been exposed more to what we are in terms of technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do not have to come to college to learn, actually. In fact, technically speaking, they can sit at their home with a good internet connection and a system. They can learn everything that they want either through YouTube videos or the subscription videos of everything. And anyway, there's AIs are there. So, what should we do to make them come to college and enjoy that thing or have fun? And that's where the human element comes in. So, we need to be more adaptive, more learning, and it's simple. If you know very clearly that I have to deliver a lecture to my student and my students need to learn it, you will go down to any level to understand what is stopping them from learning or what is their difficulty in learning. Once you pick that up, then it's very easy to, it's very easy.
So you have been at ABBS since 2017. So how has the MBA, yes, so how has the MBA department evolved through these years under your leadership?
Let us not talk about leadership because
Mhm.
it's always a team effort. No, the success goes only to the team and to the management.
Mhm.
Again, like I say, the management was very open enough to take the inputs and were good in seeing the intentions and the actions that we were putting in to take the department, take the institute to the next level where it is. And in terms of the team, a good general is only as good as his soldiers are, like they say. Team is the best team, the faculty. Not to boast it. It's not a single person's job that you can sit and write a code and let the machine learning deploy the model part. It's little human efforts of right from your assistant to the attender to your professors of every department, all need to come together, put in their efforts, do what, share the vision. Actually, that is more important. As a leader, it's very easy to dictate what you want, and it becomes more or less like an autocratic thing. But if they share the passion and the zest in which you want to go and where you want to go, then it's the most wonderful journey and it's the most easiest job, actually, if you say.
Right. So ABBS has achieved a lot of accreditation under your guidance, and we cannot deny that fact. So, what sets ABBS apart when it comes to management education and also analytics?
Part of the answer I gave, right? Leadership people or talk about it, management supports us definitely. In terms of the getting the accreditations and being where we are, what people see is the success.
Yeah.
What we have to achieve that success, there was a lot of sweat and blood spent upon. They were failures. Again, I said, we need to learn from the mistakes. And that's where we did a lot, learned a lot through the mistakes, understood our process instead of trying to copy what others are doing or what other colleges are trying to get into that thing. Because at least I believe, and that is why the others also, like Alexander Pope says, right? Know then thyself, presume not God to scan. So we spent more time in understanding our system, understanding the process, finding out the lacunae in where we are going wrong or where it can be. Again, there's no benchmarking with respect to anything here because You know your limitations, you know where you can go. And the strength is understanding your the stretching point of your achievability and then pushing it a bit more. That is where we could do. There were accreditations, each accreditation has asked its own criteria for everything. But if you do things what is expected, what you have promised to your students, what you have promised to your stakeholders, with 100 or with 80% confidence, I'll say that what you do sincerely will fit into an absolute like set pieces if all these accreditations thing. Instead of trying to read it and then follow, keep your conscience clear and go and achieve. That is what it is. You have promised all your students that you will do this. You have promised your faculty that you will be doing good and taking care and everything. If you do that, I think accreditations are easy.
All right, it was really an insightful conversation with you, and thank you so much for joining us in today and giving us time from your busy schedule. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Nita. Thank you. Have a nice day and wonderful pleasure to talk with you first time on. So, all the best then for your thing and your career.